Hello and welcome to Studentisch, your podcast about all things university, career, and life in Germany. And I'm your host, Jenny. So let's get into this, Studentisch. First of all, thank you for taking your time to be here with us. I know as a student you have to be quite busy. So before we dive into the topic that we picked out for today, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yep, I'm Michael Hubejia. I come from Ghana in Africa, and I am in my early 30s and currently staying or living in Göttingen. I am reading mathematics. Yes, so that is basically that.
I always have so much respect for people studying math and everything in that direction because I'm just so bad at it. All right, so our topic for today is building community through kindness, which kind of sounds a little abstract, but we'll go step by step to explain why that is important.
Yeah.
So like you just mentioned, you study mathematics, but given the topic, some of the listeners were probably expecting something along the lines of like social work or psychology or something working with people. Because I mean, obviously, community and kindness is important to you. So why wouldn't you want to work with that? But how did community and kindness become such an important topic in your life?
Um, I wouldn't really say with mathematics there is not much of a relation, but then one thing I found fascinating in math is that there is this operator called the equal operator. That means that the value you have on the left hand side, you have to find a way to make it equal to the value you have on the right hand side, and you always have to brainstorm. So that is where I'm going to build my concept from. There is this equality that we have to value as humans, and also growing up, I have come to value our differences, which makes us beautiful. You see, but in all, we have to also know that we are equal, no matter what. And the basic concept is even consider what happened with the COVID-19. It looks like it was far-fetched, but before I realized it was everywhere, and then everyone was involved where we have to put on our masks and then find a way of survival. So that is how we have to understand what building a community and also kindness involves. It shows that we are all of equal value. And recently I was reading a book and it says that you have to know you have the power to affect the world. You have the power. So unless we understand that we also have that energy to give to the world in a positive way, we are all going to relax and also watch things go by. But I don't believe in that. I believe that we all have something to contribute to the society. Thank you.
That is very beautiful. I like that. Um, you do find that importance or the connection to it also in your mathematics studies, or it seems like it's just a general attitude that you have. Um, was there also times in your childhood or when you were back home where those values were installed in you?
Yeah, thank you so much for this question. Actually, I grew up from a Christian family. My father, my mother, they are all Christians, and they are serving in the church society. And so I saw them how they contribute to their assembly. We call it assembly, the group of people that gather together. So their contribution, even to the point that they became their leaders, let me put it that way, in the church. So they provide support in diverse ways to the church, physically, financially, emotionally, in diverse ways. So growing up, I saw how they were helping and also contributing to the people around them. And I just got that idea or that feeling where I realized that no, I also have something that I can give. So in the children ministry, when they say, okay, we need people to do this, I'll rush and then I want to partake in it, you see. And also just in doing so, I realized that I could also offer something to make someone happy or to also make someone glad. And then it continued on and on and on, serving in diverse capacities. And it went to the youth. The youth is there. We also had to contribute to a call to serve in various capacities in the youth. And then even aside the church in my community, I saw the need to also contribute in the youth association, which I became a secretary with the youth association, and I was helping in their administrative stuff, which is something that I really take delight in. Yeah.
That's really impressive. I mean, that's so much self-sacrificial work already. Um, that's awesome. Very impressive. So, um, so you relocated from Ghana to Germany, and I would argue, as a German, that Germany is a rather individualistic and maybe like a bit colder culture. Just a tiny little bit. um, so was that like a cultural shock for you coming to Germany and experiencing people being like more closed off?
Wait, when I was in Ghana, I got my admission. Our department, they have this buddy program. So I was given a buddy from my department, and she was a lady. I tried reaching out to her for like several times. I was like, and also I had a colleague. The fortunate thing is that I had a colleague, and immediately you get your admission, you are given a WhatsApp link where you can join the faculty's WhatsApp page. So I could realize the Ghanaians that were on the page based on their phone numbers. So I got in touch with one Ghanaian, and he had also gotten an admission. And so we were chatting like, how is your visa process going on? And then he was able to get in touch with his buddy. And so he was telling me how his communication and also his correspondence with the buddy went. But unfortunately for me, I was hearing nothing. I sent mails, I sent chats, tests, I got nothing. So I was like, really, what is happening? And that was my first shock. I was like, how can this happen to you? But it was later, then she got in touch and she was like, oh, I'm very sorry. I had some exams and stuff to do. So really, yes. So I didn't really feel well at that instant because I wasn't expecting that, but it was a big shock to me. But
Oh,
finally, when I got here, I also got in touch with her, and not only her, but there were other Germans that I was able to communicate with. And I realized it wasn't actually like individualistic, but then they would love to give you that space that you have. I tried to get in touch with her, like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, let's visit this place. And then she will just not reply to your text or anything like that. And it was just something else for me. Yeah.
yeah. It's connecting can be difficult for sure. I mean, like it's obviously not the same, but I moved from Bavaria, so from southern Germany to Berlin. And shortly after I moved here, the pandemic started and everything was in lockdown. So I was in a new city. I had just started college and I didn't know any of my classmates yet. All my classes turned to online classes. So I was like alone in this new city. And I'm really like an introverted person and I can be really socially awkward sometimes. So it was like it kind of got lonely a little bit. So it was a struggle to connect, to find the space where you fit in. Did you have like similar experiences of like loneliness or like actual loneliness after you relocated to Germany?
No, no, no. I'm so sorry for you, but
Oh no, that's fine.
for me, what happened was, um, on that WhatsApp platform which we were given, I found one Ghanaian who was already here in Germany, and he was looking for a flatmate. So he got in touch with me that, hey, I have this available space to you. Have you got any? And I told him, yeah, I have got one, but then I'm not really sure about it. And said, no, just drop it and then let's work on this one. So I just totally depended on that, and he helped me push the mails and also complete the payments. So I just left from Ghana straight to the Bahnhof, and by his friend, he came to pick me up and brought me to my room. So that was just a good workout for me.
That is a warm welcome. See the difference between a German experience and a Ghanaian?
Exactly.
Really different.
Yeah.
So that means you're in the I don't get lonely category.
Right. Exactly.
But okay, other people get lonely.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So so I wanted to like back up not only my experience, but like or generally get a sense of how common it actually is for people to feel lonely. So I looked at some research, and the Deutsche Institut für Wirtschaftsforschung did a longitudinal study, and it's called the German Socioeconomic Panel, and they've been doing it for decades by now. So in the survey, they also address feelings of loneliness, and they conducted the study in 2013 and 2017, and around 14% of the people living in Germany actually felt lonely, which is quite a lot. I mean, in my opinion, that's 14% too many. And 2 years ago, so in 2021, that number actually increased to 42%. It's almost half of Germany felt lonely during the pandemic. So there's this really massive increase, or there was a massive increase. I don't know how the numbers would look like now. Um, and especially like young adults, so people in our age category. So our age category was particularly impacted by this. Um, and it's not like just spending time by yourself. Like I said, I'm introverted. I like spending time by myself. I have no issue with that whatsoever. But it's like actually feeling lonely, which is something completely different. And the issue with that being that, you know, loneliness is actually unhealthy. Like it's associated with like depression. You can get like self-centered from it because there's no one else to, be mindful of. Um, and it can actually increase your risk of or like your premature mortality by 26%, which is insane to me. So it's super, super unhealthy. Um, which is why community and kindness is super important.
Exactly.
um, so that kind of brings us to like our actual topic because so far we've mostly been talking about whether you felt lonely and like me feeling lonely and other people feeling lonely. So studies have been done to see how lonely people feel, but there's also studies to see why community is so important and kindness is so important. Because if you perform acts of kindness, like, I don't know, giving someone a random compliment, serving in your church youth service, that is an act of kindness. It's selfish. And those can actually like decrease your stress. They increase positive emotions. They make you feel more connected to your community because, I mean, in your case, you actively interacted with other people in it. So being lonely is unhealthy, and being kind is actually healthy, which is crazy. So after all this numbers and all this health talk, what does kindness mean to you in that sense? Like, do you consciously practice it on like a day-to-day level? Is it really like oh, I'm kind because it makes me feel good and it makes me feel connected? Like, what does it mean for you to be kind?
Yeah. Thank you for this question. But it's good we've really jumped into this topic because that was going to be my response to the whole figures you were giving out. So to me, kindness is to make someone feel. It is about feeling. Kindness is to make someone feel worthy, like let the person have that assurance deep within him or her that um he or she, in my Ghana language, you transliterate it to be, let him feel like he or she is somebody. Let's feel that he exists. You see, just let the person get that assurance. You uplift the spirit of that person. It is just a feeling that you have to give to that person. Yeah, that is basically that. I just let the person. If the person has a different kind of feeling, immediately you get in touch with the person. You have to give that person a positive energy that can give him or her that assurance and comfort of heart to know that what is happening to him or her, what he or she is going through, it's okay. Okay. Yeah.
Like that. Because it's like entirely unselfish in your case. There's no, like, despite it having these benefits, for one, I don't think most people are actually conscious of it. And even if they were, it's that this calculated, weird thing like, I'm going to be kind to somebody else because it benefits my health. Even though that'd be interesting, if that's a motivator for other
Yeah.
people to be nicer, go for it.
Yeah.
Be kind any given day. I'm here for it. So you had your community in Ghana through a church, through your family, through obviously a school and all these things. Would you say you have a community in Germany now?
I have a huge family, a huge family here in Germany, and I'm so grateful for that. I'll say thanks to Degis, because that is where it all boils down to. Yeah, I have a huge family here in Germany, and also in the church. It will surprise you to know that I'm serving in two churches. On Sunday, I have to go to two churches. Why? Because I play the instrument, and it's not like I only have that interest. No, but then I believe that we are contributing for a good cause. So for my Sundays, you won't find me anywhere. so that is the community I have here. And also Deg is an amazing family that I struggled when I joined Degis at the initial stages, where we have to start building the community, and you like to share the vision and idea with people. I can confidently say I am happy because of the genuine people that have come to support this vision, and it is progressing amazingly. Yeah.
That's so great. It's definitely important to have those kind of community gatherings, or like knowing there is a community that has your back, that you can turn to if you have a question or you just want to go have a party or something.
Yeah.
um, so you were able to like create your own community here in Germany through obviously church, through Degas, also through just the way you are, I would say. Because I mean, you seem like a very open person. Um, I definitely would not have moved in with a stranger. No, sir. Um, so how are you able to like cultivate that attitude? And like, I'm sure there were like any, I would say like pushbacks against it, because obviously not everybody, like you already kind of hinted at, shares this attitude of I just want to give something and I just want to be kind and like have this community. Like, how do you constantly cultivate that?
No. Okay. Thank you. So what I'll say, what I do is, I am one positive person. No matter how bad the situation is, no matter how worse things are going, I just choose to be positive. And being positive doesn't mean that things are going to be good. No, it means that you know that things can turn around for the better. And so, when I joined Degis, I started as the expansion manager, and I was speaking with a lot of people about what Degis has brought to the student, mostly international students, and it sounded nice, but then people were not ready to support. They were not ready to give their all. Others too joined, but they just weren't being active in the group. So I was just positive about it, and I'll keep on doing what I have to do, speaking with people, sharing the content. And I realized that people were, the good thing is that people already have the energy. It's like having a candle and a matches. If you have maybe two candles, what the other candle needs is not for you to be there constantly for it to burn. No, you just need a match to start it. So you being positive can increase someone's positivity towards a good cause. And that is what I realized, that there are people out there that are ready to support it. The reason why we haven't started is we haven't found them. So let's keep looking. So I was positive about this thing, and then we went around. I got two people, they joined, although we were small, but we were able to manage with the little we had, and then it progressed. Now I can boldly say we are 20 active volunteers in Degis Göttingen here, and they are doing an amazing job. Yeah, although the beginning was tough, but then it is. So I choose to be positive, and even with the team, that is one thing that I've realized. Although the expectations that we are looking out for isn't enough, but then we are positive about the whole thing because we understand we are students, we have different backgrounds, but working together, we have to really be have empathy for each other and also contribute with our little efforts, and that is helping us.
So you basically have like these two communities that you feel a part of and that you've
Mhm.
given so much to.
Yeah,
One being obviously your community back home, one being here in Germany.
yeah.
Or has it been a struggle for you to still somewhat stay connected to both? Because I mean, being a part of a community, there's also a certain role, I guess, you take up upon yourself.
Yeah.
And then having to give that up once you move away or have other responsibilities. How did you manage all these?
Okay. Thank you so much for this question. So with these two communities, the one back home, that is the for our society or for our community, that is where we live. We have this youth association, and then in Ghana we have the Ghana Youth Association. So it is part of the vision that every community should have a youth association where there can be easy communication of information and also contribution. So with that, I was serving as the secretary. So most of the administrative stuffs I was working on it, and I really have interest in computer stuffs. Like when it comes to the content, maybe we worked on our bylaws for the community. We needed some a welfare card where we do our contributions, and also um, we design our posts and content we share with our WhatsApp platform and Facebook community. So I was mostly doing these things, and coming here, I get in touch with them. If something is needed, for sure, I will just sit behind the computer, get it done, and push it to them. And that is how I support the team back home. And and it is for now. I've taken a break because uh my service ended just last week. So it was just last week.
But I mean, you already have so many things on your plate. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine if you.
Yeah, that is just for one of the association. But beside that too, we are working to support the community, which we have a small, I'll say, enterprise where we do the secretarial service for the community, and because it is mines based area, people come for application letter and other documents to support their employment issues. So we give that service to them, and sometimes I just help with some of the design, some of the content they need to do their application. So it is it is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I have taken a break because my service ended just last week. So it is. It is. For now, I it is one of the efforts we also service we are giving back to the community in Ghana. Yeah.
That is so great. Because I mean, like many people would probably be like, "Well, I'm out the country now. I can't do anything anymore." But you stayed active with it, as long as you could, which is perfectly fine. I mean, while extending kindness generally is a good thing, there has to be boundaries, and you can't like at the beginning of our conversation, I said there's a lot of self-sacrifice, but there's only so much you can sacrifice of yourself or of your time. So it's really important to also have that same compassion and kindness that you have for others, you have to have it for yourself, and that just includes boundaries. Um, do you have like any, I don't know, like practices that you use to really cut out this time for yourself to really extend that kindness to yourself as well?
Um,
I
okay.
know.
In fact, I personally I need kindness more than anyone because until I have that energy to go out there, I just can't do enough. So with that, it is for me one of the things that I do is I prefer to have some time for myself, mostly in the night. Yeah, in the night after 11 to 1, that is where I do my personal development stuff. So we just have to ponder over the days and also my personal life and things that I have to also do, listen to some messages, some songs. Yes, I love listening to music. Yeah, to boost my energy. So that is what I do. And also sometimes after my lectures, I just lock myself up, but until when I have meetings or when I have an appointment with some of my friends personally to meet them up or to communicate with them, for that I do. Yeah. But besides that, after lectures and also for the midnight hours, I really make use of them.
But that's good because I mean, some people don't even take those tiny times for themselves, and there's a saying you can't pour from an empty cup, so it's very, very important to replenish your own energy as well. Okay, last question for the day. Can you give us like some examples for like acts of kindness that you can do like on a day-to-day basis? Because I mean, not all of us can join Vegas, or not all of us can write secretary stuff.
Um, Kindness, it really starts from the heart, and you have to know that you can't be kind to anyone. You just have to understand you don't have to make things stressful for any person you encounter. Maybe you meet someone, the person is so moody, and you were expecting the person to laugh with you, but you didn't get that. That should that mean you must you also um, add salt to the person's situation? No, you have to at least be empathetic enough to say what is going on, what is wrong. But you say, so you saw me and you are not happy. Why are you sad to see me? You see, people are always ready to give that bad energy or that accusing finger. But for a start, you have to know that the person you are meeting deserves every everything that is good from your end, and you have to also be ready to give it out, and also be complimentary. You have to give positive compliments, appropriate and positive compliment to people.
Appropriate. For all the catcalling asses out there. Appropriate.
You have to give an appropriate and positive compliment to people. And also, one thing I mostly do, which a friend of mine did one for me and I was so happy, was when you have the time. I know most of us are not used to it, but invite someone, whether going for a walk or cooking or like meeting at the cafe or something. It's nice. And also a test, a simple test like, hi. how have you been? It's been a while. Like just that thoughtfulness, it's enough to brighten someone's day. So this basically is what I would no, I'm not forcing you to be a part of Degis, but then be kind to whoever or any person that you meet in your daily activities, and that is enough. Yeah.
Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. It's so true. Because it's really, like you said, it doesn't have to be any grand gesture. It's just, I don't know, smiling at somebody on the street or something, or like you said, complimenting a stranger. I had these really, like, I lived in Texas for a while, and there it was like so common for like random strangers to just come up and make a compliment. I don't know about your shoes or your tattoo or
Yeah.
anything really. It was so like they didn't want to hold a conversation, anything. They just went up, told you that's nice, and
Yeah.
left. And that's
Yeah.
beautiful. It like brightens someone's day. It doesn't take any energy whatsoever.
Yeah.
So yeah, these kinds of things can really change someone's day and put a smile on a grumpy person's face.
Yeah. Yeah.
No guarantee for that, but
Mhm.
I mean, it can always backfire. So,
Oh yeah.
but let's end this before we get on a negative note. This is about a kindness episode. Okay, cool. Then that's really it from my side. Do you have anything you want to get off your chest? Any last words of advice? I don't know.
Yes, I would appreciate Dege's national team and you, Jen, for this awesome moment. In fact, uh, I deem it honor, a great honor to be on this episode on this show, and I appreciate you for the nice conversation. Sincerely, I am learning from the national team, and I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking your time to be with us. Obviously, that's also something that we appreciate greatly. Since it's not like you were obligated to do this. So yeah, your time is valuable. Your insight was very valuable. I enjoyed it a lot. So thank you. Then that's it. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode. Studentisch is brought to you by Deges, the German Association for International Students. Deges is building the largest community of international students and is inviting you to become part of it. You can find new friends and work-related experiences and get supported by, as well as give support to, other internationals in Germany. To join your new community, click the link in the description or alternatively visit deges.info. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media and obviously follow this podcast so you don't miss out on any of the episodes.